Well, hello everybody, and welcome to another delve into the dungeon. We're trying to purge all the heroes out of the dungeon. We've been summoned forth by a powerful wizard to destroy them all. This time, the wizard has summoned forth the Troll O'Bones, or as I have it termed right now, Bone Troll. It's a festive time of year, so we thought, let's throw a little hat on this fellow and see what happens. So I'm going to play with the Bone Troll actually upright this time around. So you may not be able to see the bottom layer of the dungeon, but trust that it's there, and I'll be showing you cards as needed. But just wanted to show you how that die holder can work. It can either go flat or upright, and upright has less of a glare, so you can feel free to stare at the mesmerizing Bone Troll as you wish. Now the Bone Troll has two standard abilities which can be used as long as you have that many ability points, or you can use any one of these 4 cards as a single time use and then you discard that card or lose that card, so you can leave them on the tabletop or hold them in your hands. Probably easier to leave them on the tabletop because you're going to be rolling dice a lot in this game. Alright, so we have the lucky die, which lets you automatically succeed against an agility or magic check, and so that may help you decide, where do I want to put my stats. Second one is a die-offensive maneuver, and that lets you increase the stat value of your dice by +3 for an entire combat. So if you're facing a particularly challenging combat, you may want to beef up your defense. The third one is die-offensive skin, and that prevents all combat damage that would be dealt by might, which can be really useful if you're battling a troop full of warriors or the paladin. And then there's Regenerate. Use this ability anytime to gain 1d8 hit points. So it might be a 1, might be an 8. Is it worth 4 points? Hard to say. So there we go. We're going to get started with Die in the Dungeon. I'm not going to go through the whole rules because I've already got a setup video and rules explanation video for that. Anytime I roll dice for the baddies, we're going to roll red. Anytime I roll dice for the troll, we'll roll blue. Not that it matters because they don't roll one to counteract another. Okay, so I've already chosen my stat dice, so I'm using 12 for might, d6 for agility, d8 for magic, and a d10 for my health. And I'll set my time to 20, and at the first turn of the game, I get my first ability point, so we'll set that to 1. And so, what I'm going to do this game is a little bit different than the last game. I did try this once off screen, and I got utterly demolished by the dear old paladin and a couple of his comrades because I chose not to go after any of the Dominions. So this game, I'm going to do a little search for the might that I searched for last time, but then I'm going to go after some Dominions before trying to defeat 3 of the epic parties. Alright, so let's go up in the dungeon. These are all randomized, by the way. I redid the entire board. So our first dungeon fight is against healers. I must roll for a random hero. So when you're rolling for a random hero, you would have to roll a d6 and 1, 2, 3, 4. We rolled a 5. 5 is a loss of a health, and a 6 is a randomized opponent. So it says here though, for the random hero, re-roll if I do not roll a warrior, rogue, or wizard, because you can't just fight clerics. So I have to re-roll. I have a 3. 1, 2, 3. A wizard is going to join the healing party. So we're going to put that over here, and they're level 1 wizards. You can see the 1 on there. So there's going to be 1 level 1 wizard, and there's going to be 3 level 1 clerics. And the way the rules work for clerics is, if you check out the top, for each cleric in your party beyond the first, lose an ability point. I only have 1 point, so I lose that point. If I had 3 points, I would lose 2 points. I can't use ability points before that occurs, and while a cleric is in the party, they must be defeated first. Alright, the wizard has a special bonus if they hit with a 10 or higher on their attack roll. So let me go right to combat. Since I don't have any ability points to spend, I don't have a choice. I have to let these guys attack first. And again, they would attack with might if they had a warrior in the party, which they don't. They would attack with agility if they had a rogue in the party, which they don't. So the only ability they get to attack with is magic. That's going to be the value of all of the party members added together. So 6, 8, 10, 12. So they have to roll a die that can at least equal 12. A d12 can at least equal 12, so that is their attack roll. And they're going to roll that magic and try to defeat my magic. So they have to get a 9, 10, 11, or 12. So they do have a 25% chance of hitting. If you can see there, they rolled a 4. So with a 4, that's a miss, which means I get to do my attack now. So I could go against their might, which is 7, or their agility, which is 7, or their magic, which is 12. I'm going to use my d12, my might, to attack. I don't use up points to attack. I just roll whatever the die value is, no matter how low it is. I rolled a 1, so we're going to say I missed. So now they're going to attack me with their magic again. And they have rolled an 8. An 8 against my 8 is actually a miss. They have to roll higher. So I'm going to attack back. And I've rolled a 2, so I've missed. Now, technically, I could reduce my might as much as I want to increase this die value, but I think I rolled too low to make it worthwhile. So the heroes attack again, and they have a 6, which is still a miss. They're failing miserably. The bone troll strikes again. Whoops. I have to roll out of the legal rolling zone. An 11 is a hit because they've only got 7 defense, so I take out the first cleric. Now when they attack, they have 6, 8, 10, so instead of rolling a d12, they only get to roll a d10 against me, so their chances of hitting have gone down now that they lost a party member. That's a 3, which is a miss. I still have a d12 attack because I'm a tough monster. So my 5 against their 5 is a miss. I could reduce this to 11 to bump that up to a 6, but I'm going to win the natural way and let them try to hit me again. So they've rolled an 8 against my 8. That is a miss. So I'm feeling pretty confident I can take out these healers. I rolled a 10, so I've taken out a healer. So now their attack is only an 8. So a d8 against my 8. They can only hit if they roll a maximum value of 8. So that's a miss. I roll my might, hit, and now they've only got a d6 to roll. So the only way they're going to hit is if they max roll a 6, because they always hit on max rolls. It's like a critical hit for heroes. But they failed, so I will try to finish them off. As long as I roll higher than a 1, I have defeated the wizard. And that was a flawless victory, for no damage was inflicted upon the bone troll. Although I did lose some ability points. So, I should have lost the time at the beginning of the turn, and I'm now over here. So now I can decide if I want to continue forth, straight ahead, or I could turn left or right. So, I'm going to go forward and see what we face here. So I will go down to 18, and we've come across might. I immediately gain 2 might. If you are at your maximum after gaining, you get to upgrade your die. So 12, I can't go any higher than 12. So after gaining my 2, which I can't gain, I am at my maximum value. So I do get to upgrade my die. So I get to take that d12 out and turn it into a d20. But I still leave it at the value of 12. But anytime I roll a might attack, I roll with a d20 instead of a d12 now. So that's awesome. Didn't even have to get that little might icon up there. The drawback is, I gained an ability point before I moved, is I have to fight 4 level 1 warriors. So that could be painful. So let's get those guys prepared. The good thing about 4 of the same character is they are only going to get 1 attack per round. The bad thing is that it's going to be a big attack. So here we go. We've got 4 level 1 warriors. So they're going to have a total might value of 16, which they're going to roll a d20 to attack me with. But before they do, I could choose, if I had an ability that costs 1 point, I could use it, but I don't have an effective ability, so they're going to get to attack with their mighty d20. And they're rolling against my 12. So they have rolled an 18, and the warrior has another ability as well. For each warrior in the party beyond the first, their attack rolls gain +1. So instead of an 18, they actually had a 21 attack, which is awesome for them. Not so awesome for our Troll of Bones. If the heroes roll a 10 or higher on a might roll, while warriors in the party, they're going to deal an additional might damage. If they did roll higher, So I'm going to take 2 might damage instead of 1. So that is pretty painful when these warriors get together. So I'll take the damage directly. So I'll take 2 damage. I don't want to lose any might right now. So now it's my chance to strike back. Now if I use my might attack, their might defense is 12. So the only way I'd hit is 13 or higher, which is still a pretty good chance on a d20. Or I could go after their magic, which they've got a 4 defense for magic, and I roll a d10. So I actually have a 60% chance of hitting with my, a d8. I have a 50% chance of hitting with my d8, and actually less than 50% chance of hitting with might. So I'm going to switch gears, and I'm going to roll with my magic. So as long as I roll a 5, 6, 7, or 8, I'm going to hit one of these warriors. Let's see what happens. I've rolled a 4, so 4 would be a miss. But in the game rules, we have the ability to reduce my magic by 1 point, so it's a permanent modification down, making it easier to hit me for the rest of the game, to increase this to 5. So I've chosen to sacrifice some permanent magic to temporarily boost my magic. And so now I've got 5 against their 4 defense, and we're going to take out this warrior. Rawr. Bonjour knows how to hit. Go back to the warrior's turn. They've got 4, 8, 12 attacks, so much less likely to hit me now. They've got to roll a 12 to hit me because I'm really defensive against warriors and might. So that's a miss. And I'm going to keep attacking with magic. Now I have a higher chance of hitting with my d8. A 4 against their 3 is a hit, so we take down another warrior. Now they only get a d8 to attack, but this is actually increasing their percentage chance of hitting because they could only hit on a max right now anyway. 3 is a miss. I roll my magic attack. That's a hit. And all they're left with is a d4 to try to hurt me. D4s don't roll very well, so you got to shake them up good in your hand. He did roll a 4, so that is a hit. So I will take 1 damage. I could take it to my might, but I'm taking it right to the health instead. And then I'll try to finish him off. I just need a 2 or higher. I rolled a 1. I will let him attack me 1 more time. 3, that's a miss. So now I can attack him back. 5, there we go. Dun 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 dun, victorious. So we'll move our creature up there. So I could move left to the might. Now, I wouldn't get any perk from the might unless I change the rules, which I can't do in mid-game. That wouldn't be fair, but I could say that in the rules you follow the same rule as the might tile, where you gain 2, and if you're at your max, you gain a point. I'll just double check. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, immediately upgrade the stat found to the next die without increasing its value. So I may change that, but we won't change that this game. Instead, I'm going to take a turn to the right. So when I go to the right, I'm going to start my turn. I'm going to gain an ability point. I'm at 2. I'm going to lose a time. I'm down to 17. I will gain this. So this will immediately upgrade my D4 into a D6. All right, so we're just gonna, I've got more holders, I just don't have them handy right now, so we'll put the D6 there. And that's used up for the game. But this stays at its value of 2. And when I go there, I find hunted. If I'm hit by an agility attack this turn, I lose a health and an agility. So that's not good. And this is level 1, so I'm going to get a level 1. Ooh. We've got an assassin there, an assassin and a rogue. So even though it's not an epic battle, we do have a pretty epic warrior here. So the assassin and our level 1 rogue. So what's going to happen here is, let me just pull out our handy dandy sheet. For each rogue in the party beyond the first, the heroes perform 1 additional agility attack. So instead of performing 1 agility attack, they're going to do 2 because the assassin counts as a rogue. And if they roll a 15 or higher on the first agility attack in a combat round, they get an additional one, so they get a chance for even more attacks. And the assassin can't be defeated until the rogue is dead. And when it's the only hero, it actually gets stronger. And if the heroes succeed on an agility attack, I also take extra damage, so pretty brutal combination going on here. So let's do. I have 2 ability points. I could utilize my defensive maneuvers. I could activate my roll and doubles, or I can just play out the battle. Still early in the game, and now I can get to a maximum of 6 ability points. So we're going to play it out, which means they get to attack. Now, their total might attack is only 12 right now, so they get to roll a d12. Or sorry, no, their agility is what they attack with. Their agility is 20, so they get to roll a d20 against my meager 6. They have a really good chance of hitting me. So we're going to let that happen. And then we're going to strike back. So they have rolled an 18. Definitely a hit. Because they rolled higher than 15, they're going to get another attack, so they still have 2 more attacks. And because they have an assassin, that's a critical strike on an agility attack. They're doing 2 damage to me right now. So we'll take the damage here, bring myself down to 5. And they get to attack for their second time. And I've rolled a 9, which is a hit, but it's less than... well, they still succeeded on an agility attack, so they still do an extra damage. So this is starting to hurt. I'm going to take 1 agility damage and 1 regular health damage. I'll split it up this time. They still get 1 more attack because they got their bonus attack from the rogue ability. Pretty brutal. A 4. Actually a miss. We'll take that. Now it's my chance to strike back. Now I have to kill the assassin first. The assassin cannot be defeated until all the other heroes are defeated. So I will strike out. Now, if I go against their might, I have to roll higher than a 12. If I go against their agility, I have to roll higher than a 20. And if I go against their magic, I have to roll higher than a 7. So our best bet here is to use the might of the bone troll. I'm using, we'll use the same die. And we're probably going to modify it to make sure we take something out, because this is a dangerous battle. We've rolled an 11 for might against their might of 12. So I'm going to reduce my 12 down to a 10. So 2 points off, so that I can have a 13 against their 12, which means I get to kill the rogue. Just need to do some damage there. So now the assassin gets to attack. But it's the only hero. It gains +2 to might and agility, so it has an 18 agility right now, so it still rolls a 20 against me. That is a 1. That is a very poor step, Mr. Assassin. You must have fallen in a crack while you tried to lunge at me. So the bone troll will take advantage of that, and we're going to strike back. We've got a 50% chance of defeating him with might, so let's use might again. 12, that is a hit, and we've taken down the assassin. Dun, dun, dun. Congratulations, bone troll. So no other benefits from that, so we're now in that part of the dungeon. Now, I already gained the ability points thing. If I go to that top right, I'm going to fight an epic party, because that's how this dungeon was laid out. So it's no secret in this one. We knew that when we set up the game board. I don't have the sheet here to show you. Oh, I do somewhere. So this is how the dungeon map was set up in the print and play. So you can see I know where the most dangerous spots are. And I'm not quite ready to do that yet. So we're going to lose another point. 16 time. I could sacrifice time to gain health, but I'm not going to yet. And we can move to any adjacent unexplored area of the dungeon. So we're going to go try to seek out some dominions. 1, 2. We're going to go here. So I've already lost my time. That was 19, 18, 17, 16. So we found hide. I automatically lose a time, so I'm down to 15. I must automatically lose an ability point. I should have gained one, so I'll go back down to 2. And if I couldn't lose either of those, I would have lost some health. So that's okay. The 2 on there is an indicator of difficulty level. So in the final game, there will be a certain amount of each number of difficulty tiles you would shuffle in. So we made it there. So we're going to go to the next one, go down to 14 time. And we're going to grab this Dominion. And we should have started with a Dominion as well. I forgot to put that the last time I played. So you start the game with 1 Dominion, and you can acquire other ones in the game. So now we have 2 Dominions. At the beginning of my turn, I would have also gained an ability point. My health was at 4. That's why those die holders are there. When you nudge them, helps keep them in place. Alright, so we're going to go here. So we had, going to lose a time. Down to 13 time. And we will reveal this dungeon tile. A Dominion Revolt, oh no. If I have any Dominions, choose one and roll its die value. Lose that many points total off any number of dice or sacrifice the Dominion. So, I have 2 d6s, so I can choose to roll a d6 Dominion. If the only Dominion I had was a 20, I would have to roll a 20, so that'd be really mean revolt. So I'm going to roll a d6. I've rolled a 6, so I can lose 6 points worth of stats, or lose a Dominion. I'm going to lose a Dominion because 6 points worth of stats is a lot. Alright, so better to get that early, so I know what I'm up against. I will continue traversing through the dungeon down to 12 time. If I run out of time, I have no chance of defeating the epic hero, so I gotta watch that special clock going on. Here we found magic, so I immediately gained 2 magic. So instead of 7, I would go up to 8. I can't go any higher than 8, so if I'm at my maximum after gaining, I get to upgrade my die. So I'll take out the d10, and I'll be upgrading that take out the d8 and upgrade that d8 to a d10, but it stays at a value of 8. Alright, that's awesome. But now the downside, of course, I have to fight 4 wizards. Now they're only level 1 wizards, but level 1 wizards, when grouped together, can be quite devastating to my time. So we'll lay these guys all out here. I would have gained 1 more ability point. I'm not very good at following my own turn sequence, so if you are playing this game, I highly recommend you look at this at the start of every turn. It might seem like a simple thing to gain an ability point, but with everything that goes on in the game, it's easy to forget those simple steps, or the ability to rest. So, got my ability point, and now we're going to face off against the wizards. Now I could use loaded dice, place a d6 on this ability, set it to 6, and I can use it to modify any rolls in the game. To me, that sounds like a wonderful ability to use now. So we're going to use all 4 ability points, and we get to make a permanent d6. So I still have a d6 as my ability die, but we get a permanent d6. So just to differentiate it, I'm going to use a special d6. One with the classic pips. Set this to the side here, so I know that those are modifier points. I can use at any time. So that's called loaded dice. So I can use that ability anytime I have up to 4 ability points. So now that I don't have any ability points, nothing else I can do. The wizards get to attack. We have 4 wizards at 6 magic each, so they get to attack for 24, which is a d20, against my 8. So here we go. Now I said anything on the table doesn't count, so we'll give them another chance. Instead of a 2, they rolled a 1, so very bad wizards working together. They must have tripped over each other's quarterstaffs or something. So now I can attack back. Their might is absolutely meager, so I will strike. Their might was mine. d20. I rolled a 4, which is actually a miss. I'm going to use an ability point, though. Actually, you know what? I'll I'll use one of these, reduce my 6 to a 5, to wipe out a wizard, because that'll be a total of 5 might against their 4 might total. I can take out 1 wizard. So now they have 18. They still get to attack me with a d20, and they've rolled an 11 this time. Because their value is higher than 10. Oh, I forgot the most important part of grouped wizards. There were 4 of them at the beginning, so each wizard would be on the first. I lose a time point, so I would have lost 1, 2, 3 time. So I'm actually down to 9 time thanks to that mess. Terrible. Alright, but then if wizards hit me with a magic attack of 10 or higher, I lose a time in addition to a magic damage. So I'll be down to 8 time and a magic or a health. So I will lose the magic point this time around. And I'm going to attack back with my might. An 11 is a hit. Take out another wizard. So now the wizards are attacking for 12, so at least they only get to roll a d12 now against my 7. An 8 is a hit. It's less than 10, so at least I don't lose any time, but I do lose another point. I'm going to lose a health this time, so I'm down to 3 health. I attack back with my might. I rolled a 7. That's a hit. Kill another wizard. And the wizard now has only a d6 to attack with. Raw. They've got a 2. Roll it again so you can see it on screen. Oops. There. 2 again anyway. So they miss. Attack with a 26. The wizards are dead. This troll is like batting practice. Easy against wizard. Smashy, smashy. So we've successfully defeated the magic tile, and we are here in the dungeon. We're at a rough spot now. I'm going to have to race to get to kill any of these epic parties because I've only got 8 time. But I was desperate to get that Dominion to help me win a battle. So we're going to use a time and face off this battle. Gain an ability point. And so we get this Dominion, and we have Collapse. Make a might check. If the result is less than 8, you lose 2 health. So I roll my might check. I have a 5, which is less than 8, so I lose 2 health. Down to 1 health. Frightening. So here I am in the dungeon. If I rest, I'm going to lose time, which is going to put me closer to death, so not good to rest. What I may want to do is hopefully survive long enough that I can regenerate some health. So I'll gain my ability point for my next turn. I will lose a time. And I will progress to this corner of the dungeon where I will gain this Dominion and find this tile. So we have transmute. Flip over the tile. Bad writing there. Flip over the tile adjacent to the one you just came from. Ugh. So basically what would happen is if I went back that way, I'd have to fight those again. So I've basically given myself only one way to go. That's a terrible move. And not only that, we've got a warlock and a rogue to battle. So let's see what happens when we battle them. The warlock has a massive 20 magic, and a rogue has joined him. So they're going to get a magic and agility attack. Now, there's no extra rogues, so there's no extra attack, but the warlock says while he's in your party, my magic stat is reduced to 5, and my magic attack rolls have a -5. So really counteracts any magic abilities I have. I've got 2 ability points. I'm going to choose not to use them because I'm trying to save them to actually recover my health, so I'm going to let them attack. So first they attack with their agility, which is a total of 10. So they get to roll a d10 for agility attack. That's a 10 against my 5. That's a hit, so I have no choice but to take the agility damage because I've only got 1 health. So I'll take a damage. I'm down to 4. There. Now they get to attack with magic, which is a 21 against my 2 because I lose 5 while I'm fighting the warlock. They rolled a 1, believe it or not, and you can actually see it on the screen, so that's great. You know I'm not lying. So now I get a chance to fight them back. Their might is only 6. That looks like the best way to attack, so let's go for might. 17, and it doesn't say that I cannot take out the warlock. So, goodbye, warlock. You turn your back on me, and I put a club through you. That's right, through him. The rogue, now down to only a d4 attack, desperately tries to fight back, stabbing me. It's a 2, 3, that's a miss. I attack with my might and smush him against the wall. So we've successfully defeated that encounter. The drawback is I am stuck in this edge of the dungeon unless I want to fight 4 wizards again, which I absolutely do not want to do. It would let me upgrade my die, but what good is an upgraded die when I'm going to die? So I will gain an ability point, up to 3. I will lose a time, down to 5. Now there is one tile that might give me some time, so we'll see if we encounter that. And I'm going to make my way over here. We have a Dominion Revolt again. If I have any Dominions, destroy 2 of them. Take a damage for each one lost this way. Ooh, so still wondering if I should have these in the game because it almost makes searching for Dominions a bad thing. So destroy 2 of them, take 1 damage for each Dominion lost this way. So I would take 2 damage and that would end the game because the Dominions turned against me. Raw, Bone Troll die, raw. So there you go. We encountered quite a bit in the dungeon. We actually beefed up some stats here, both magic and might. But we decided not to pursue the epic heroes and definitely paid the price for it. Trying to really bump up the Dominion count in hopes of defeating the epic heroes didn't pay off this time around. Maybe next time. And now in terms of how many points would this be worth? Well, I still have to put together that chart there. But basically, epic heroes would be worth 3 points. And then other heroes are worth 1 point per level that they are. So if we looked at the value of the creatures I've defeated a warlock, which was worth 3. A level 1 rogue, which is worth 1. So there's 4. And then we have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, plus 3 is 16. So I would have earned 16 points worth of hero crushing points in this game. If you have any feedback for Die in the Dungeon, by all means let me know. Right now the game is extremely hard to actually get a victory, but it is fun to see what happens and how the battles play out, at least in my opinion. Thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll be able to share with you the prototype copy very soon, which is coming from the Game Crafter.